But like I'm coming out of the store with stuff that I bought, and they over here looking at me coming out of the store with big bags or bags of stuff, and they was basically discriminating about that. And God was like, oh, they trying to make it seem like she guilty for coming out of the store. And this is how the Lord said, he said, oh, she ain't guilty of nothing but coming out of the store with stuff that she actually paid for. That's what God said, with stuff she actually paid for. And I guess because people feel like, oh, she black, oh, she ain't supposed to be able to come out of a store with bags without having people looking at her like she stole something and she done paid for whatever she walked out the store with. And there was a lot of hatred, and there still is a lot of hatred, surrounding that. And I make do with whatever I have, but it's like, it ain't even about that. I can't even make an excuse. They don't want to see you have nothing. That's just how it is. They don't want to see you have nothing. Oh, and another thing that I wanted to say was that these people done took my child. They was vandalizing my property, abusing me, robbing me. Um, they done denied my pregnancy. These people done stressed me on purpose. They tried to do mind tricks and all kind of stuff on me. Man, and that was just like the little stuff that could come to my mind when I was thinking about how they was vandalizing my home and took my documents, my baby social security documents and stuff, and still want to try to drive a person crazy and then want to turn around and call you crazy. And I was like, I know everybody gonna be like, oh, Andrea went off on them folks. But you know what? When I went back and I looked at the video and everything, I was like, because they deserved it. And I'm very glad that I was able to capture it. And I was very glad that I was able to capture everything that everybody did, because you don't really understand how much that can eat at a person when people just constantly do stuff to you and do stuff to you and everybody knows about it. And then they look at you and they expect to be able to talk about you to your grave, knowing what that they did that to you. So my thing is, I'm not going to let jealousy and envious people bring me down. And now they want to hurt me so bad, and I want my son. And as much as I done been through and as hard as it has been for me, I'm not mad at myself. But I am a little scared, but I got to trust in God and be strong and courageous. And so, anyway, I don't want to get too emotional, you guys. Um, I'm glad I was able to expose it. But this whole thing, I was thinking about my child father and how he was abusing me and then abused another woman. And it's like, when I thought about Marcus trying to, y'all didn't see, I didn't record what happened, because after me and him got into it at the hotel when I came back, I ended up staying. But I went somewhere and I came back and he got into it with me. And in the morning, this morning, he got into it with me. And I left the hotel with him. And he tried to he got, really what happened at the hotel was that the detective called me about James Devon Harris. And when the detective called me about James Devon Harris, Marcus heard me basically talking about the detective calling and trying to put it behind me, basically. And he tried to get smart with me because originally I said that I did want to press charges on James Devon Harris, but he was trying to make it seem like I didn't say that. Like, the police charged him, but I called the police for a reason. You see what I'm saying? But based off what they saw, they charged James Devon Harris. So in my heart, I was like, yeah, my intentions is not to hurt him. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. And Marcus was trying to get big on me, and I already knew what that was. I was like, he trying to get big on me because he was an abusive male as well. As much as I may have loved him or liked him, he is an abusive male. So when he hears that another male that done abused you is in trouble and done actually got in trouble for it, which is good, because I'm still trying to
get my child. I don't want to go after my baby daddy in court necessarily. I want my baby, but at the same time, being that it had to go that far, you know what I'm saying? This really needs to be taken care of. So with the James Devon Harris case, I didn't really want to put all my focus on that, because then it's like, oh, she forgetting about her son, she forgetting about her child father. My child father family is Caucasian, and they are using litigation abuse to keep my son from me, because his father was abusing me, and I heard him in self-defense because he was also attempting to abuse my child, and he was abusing my child in my home. So now it's like they throwing in black men that really don't even care about me, that's trying to turn me into something else and make my image as if it's this trick whore, instead of a mother who has been taken advantage of, trying to get back to my child after being left in a very horrible situation due to domestic violence. And that's how my home was vandalized, and all the other things that I was telling you guys about, and how I ended up without a home and without my child, without my son, and why I was not able to receive the medical care that I needed. So I didn't want them to make this about James Devon Harris, because I have not seen my little boy's face since the day of the shooting. I have not seen my son, and he was attacking me, and I had my small baby with me, and he grabbed my baby in the midst of it, and he started slinging him around violently. And there was a male in the restaurant that had helped when he was attacking me, and he was helping while I was trying to get my baby. And I have not seen my son. So, being that the charges against me were dropped for defending myself and my son was never returned to me. And I have never seen my child again. I have never seen my son's face. So as nice as it was to meet somebody who liked me or loved me or wanted to help me, this is not about them. And I feel that there is a lot of jealousy and prying for my attention. And then it's like the more people want to pry for my attention, the more they dragging me further away from my baby and dragging my little boy further away from me. And they held me in that jail cell for 10 months, long enough to do things to break me and my son apart. They had no intentions of ever giving him back. So as a mother trying to survive with no help from family or friends, knowing the agenda that they have for me, I have survived as best as I could. I did. And so as far as me not getting my son, this is why I hold so tightly to God and Jehovah, to Jesus, you know what I mean? Because to Jehovah, to God, I'm telling you, because he was there with me in that cell, and he was fighting for me, and he was fighting against everybody that wanted to keep me there. And he was fighting every case where they was trying to keep me from my son. And I won. God said that I won those cases. And he was showing all the people who were trying to talk about me and saying that I didn't deserve my baby boy back, and that I didn't deserve my home, and calling me big wench, and trying to further abuse me for having protected us. He was fighting them. And he said that they were all wicked. He was showing that they were all very evil people. And he said, most specifically, not to have any contact with my child's father. And so I have not had any contact with him. He said not to have any contact with Cynthia O'Vera, with my child's father's mother, because she has my son. And God said specifically that Cynthia O'Vera was wrong for trying to keep me from my son, and that she would try to get me first. And so, because God said to tell her that I was pressing charges against my child's father, Austin John Metter, for abusing me, and that he would go to jail for abusing women. And that's why he got hurt. That's what God said. And that's what he told me to tell Cynthia O'Vera. And God said that he would do something about it. He would do something about Cynthia O'Vera. So I'm completely out of control. I was shown by the Holy Spirit right before I was released from jail for defending us that there were people who knew that I did not have any control, and that I was one of those cases where I didn't have any control over my life, over myself. People were being very manipulative, physically, financially, spiritual, mental, the abuse. They just had me like this in the palm of their hands. And so they hoping to crush me and destroy me because I don't want to live defeated the way that they want me to. And they want to take every little thing that means the most to me because I don't really care about a lot of the things that a lot of people care about. But my son, that's one thing, that's one person that I feel very deeply about. And it seems like people wanted to retaliate by hurting us and tearing us apart because his father got hurt. But God showed me that people wanted to hurt us anyway, that were satanic, and they were already after me and my son. And a lot of times that's why I be smoking and tripping, because I couldn't even figure out, like, damn, why was I so precious to God? But then why did these people tear me down the way that they did, and it just really showed me that my story meant a lot to God, because Satan was already after me and my little boy in that house, and he had everybody already on his side that should have been on my side, and God was the only one who stepped in and put everything back in order and told me the truth, and that's what put my mind where it needed to be. And that's why I stand up for myself, and I don't mind speaking the things that I have to say. So I already know that they gonna fight God. They not gonna just give me my son. They not gonna do right. They not gonna tell the truth. They gonna keep on playing and playing games. But God is good. He is good, and I just gotta trust in Him, and that's what I'm doing. But my little boy is the main thing, and it's like James Devon Harris case. They want me to focus on him, and I don't want to focus on him. So then Marcus, he was like, oh, he pushed me off of him this morning, because we were laying in the bed cuddling, and he was just waking up in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, wanting to just talk about all his problems. And me, I got way more problems than whatever problems that he's talking about. And he constantly try to be negative about stuff. So it's like I'm a solution type of person. I'm a type of person, when you look at me or you look at my situation, you'll think that I'll never make it, but I'm not looking at it that way. I already got it all figured out. I just gotta do it. And so another person might be looking at me like, oh, you all fucked up, you all this, and I'm like, or whatever. I got this, because I'm gonna try to figure something out, and I'm gonna enjoy my life. If we got blessings, I'm gonna enjoy even the little blessings that we have, and he just wanna argue. And so I just basically got up and left this morning, but before I left, he had pushed me when we was in the bed this morning, because it was 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, baby, I'm still asleep. Like, I'm still asleep. And he pushed me because I said I was still asleep, and I was laying on my side in the fetal position, and he was cuddling me from behind, and he took his hands on the back of my waist, on my hip, and he pushed me off of him. And I got up and I had said, look, like, don't you dare put your hands on me. You know how you say when you have a reaction to somebody putting their hands on you? Like, motherfucker? Yeah. So then he was like, basically trying to get big. Like, he was going to try to attack me like some wild ape or fucking gorilla. And I was looking at him like, dude, please. Like, you know I'm pregnant, like, with this baby. I don't give a fuck what y'all say about me. You're a punk. Like, I didn't even say nothing to him, but in my mind, I was thinking, you're a punk bitch. You know what I'm saying? You're just trying to fucking fight me because you're a punk bitch. That's just basically the only way you can really sum up that type of motherfucker, you know? And so I just hurried up and got my stuff. And I was like, you know, I said, you don't even know how to have a relationship. I said, you're just negative. Like, you're just negative. You know, and he tried to talk about me, oh, bitch, hoe, this, you ain't nothing but a slut, hoe, this, all this bullshit, and then trying to act like he want to fight, and I'm like, boy, whatever, talking about somebody talking down on him, he's insecure, he's very insecure, so, you know, I just had to just be like, whatever, I'm gonna let that go, so, I got up and I left, and then, so they basically, trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm just crazy or whatever, and I'm hurting men, knowing that these men is actually trying to physically abuse me. And then you got the black women that see me stand up for myself, that's jealous, that want to come around and try to make that their opportunity to come and attack me because they know I'm fighting the men that can't control me. I just want y'all to know that.